So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, I'm also having a class or a tutorial about printer paper jams. And for today, I have decided to have a case study of a KONICA MINOLTA machine, BIZHUB C224 series type of a machine, which is a BIZHUB machine or a KONICA MINOLTA type of a machine. Because I know one of the things that give people nightmares is printer paper jams, or when a printer starts having problem with not printing out or giving output in terms of printouts. And so it's for that reason I decided because I've had some cases of people calling because of just paper jams to go and help them out. I just decided to give a tutorial of how you can even help yourself when you encounter a printer paper jam. And so to start with, I will start with having an overview of the machine, so that in looking at the different parts of the machine briefly, I can be able to pinpoint some of the areas that are mostly affected by paper jam when you are doing your printing, or when you are doing your photocopying, or even when you are doing your scanning, because sometimes we will scan and then print out at the same time. And just to begin with, just a preamble, when you start using machines, like for example printers, even computers, it's advisable you have some few simple tools, if not all of them. And one of them is just a simple brush like this one, because these machines are mostly affected by sometimes dust, and this simple brush can help you wipe out the dust. Also, it is also good to have something like this, just a simple screwdriver that you can use to unscrew some parts of the machine, like those which I will show you, that you can just unscrew out to be able to sort out a paper jam issue. Another thing is this one. This is just a soldering iron, and of course with a soldering wire that you can use to just solder some parts that can get broken, and you can simply see them and solder for yourself. Pliers like this one, because some paper jams might appear somewhere where you cannot touch with your finger, or it is very far that you can't touch with your finger. So this nose type kind of pliers will help you like pick the paper from there, and those papers which will jam in the fusor area, because the fusor gets hot and you might harm yourself. You might get burned when trying to sort out a paper jam issue from inside the fusor. Then a tester to just test some continuities in electricity, and also to help in unscrewing some screws that are in the machine. Also, something important you should be having, make sure you also have something. It's also good to make sure that you have something simple like this one, just a simple cloth that you can use to cover your machine when you are not using it, because most of the problems that we encounter in machines, it's because of dust, just because of dust. You leave your machine to get a lot of dust, and then that dust accumulates and affects your machine, that it starts having paper jams or not be able to operate. And also a simple cloth like this one, although this one of mine is almost torn, and I need a new one, of course. This one is almost done with its work anyway. So a simple cloth like this one for just wiping out the machine and wiping the different areas of the machine as you work. So without much further ado, this is my KONICA BIZHUB machine, or this is my BIZHUB machine, or my KONICA MINOLTA machine. And with this KONICA MINOLTA machine of mine, as you can see, this is my panel, or the touchpad that is used to communicate with the machine. It displays whatever that you are, or commands that you can use to operate the machine, right? It has different buttons, and it is a touch screen. Then we have, of course, this is the toner area, or the front area of the machine. This is the front door. We have the toners here. We have the waste toner developers from inside here. And so, anyway, this is the DF, or the automatic document feeder part of the machine. It has also this small door over here, which is also part of the DF. We shall see some of the things that it can be able to do for us. And I'm just pinpointing some few areas that are very important of the machine when you are using it. Then we have this area here where our papers exit from, or the exit area. The receiving tray, of course, that receives the papers that you are printing, or the one that you are printing out. Then of importance, we have, of course, we have the back area where we have power, but that is not very important for now, although I can also show you anyway. So this is the right door. Sorry, this is the right door, which we open like this, and my tutorial will measure a lot on this area here. It will measure on this area, so it will be good if you are keen on looking at some of the things here. Like for example, we have, this is the duplex area, or the duplex unit. This is a guide to the paper when it is exiting. This is the fuser. Then this is a transfer roller. This one here is a transfer roller. I don't want to pull it so much because there is something I want to do with it because of this paper which has just jumped here because I was printing something. Then these are pickup units having these rollers. These pickups, they picks, or they helps in picking paper from the trays. They help in picking paper from the trays, right? This is a hurdle for just carrying the machine when you are transferring the machine or transporting the machine from one place to another. The hurdles are normally two of them when you are carrying the machine, so that you can be safe. These are communication ports. Like for example, this is the Ethernet port for Ethernet cable. This is the printer cable, or the USB for printer, right? Sorry. Then at the back of the machine, this is the power area, and of course the motherboards are inside here. Like for example, now that I've shown you that we have the communication ports over here, so we have our logic board over here. Then this side here, of course, we have the high voltage board, we have the power board, and the controller board, and so again, this is the cable that connects this ADF, or that connects the ADF area of the machine, right? And so basically that is an overview of the machine. Remember, we are just looking at them. We are just having an overview, so that when I mention some parts, you will have at least seen them and heard about something about them, so that you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So over here, we also have some boards. Like for example, the logic board is the logic is on that other side. So over here we have the other boards, and also these hurdles which are used to carry the machine, right? And then from inside here, you can, if you open around here, you can be able to find the what we call the laser unit, right? So again, this is the exit area, and then these are just rollers for the exit, where you can see we have this paper here. And so now, having gotten an overview of the machine, or having had an overview of the machine, let me tell you that I was in the midst of printing, right? I was in the midst of printing, and now that we are talking about printer paper jams, and I've decided to have this as a case study. Now, if you look at this screen here, if you are able to see it well, right? You can see I have a paper jam, and it is indicating for me that the paper jam is appearing at code 11, at area number 11, number 13, and number 14. As in, it is showing me the areas where the paper has jammed, mali paper imekwama, so that I can be able to trace it. And then from the screen, I'm being given some information. MFP detected, remove paper as indicated by the cycle, and it is telling me, of course, here that I have a paper jam. So this is the communication screen, by the way. This touch screen, it is my communication area with the printer. So now I have a paper jam for sure, right? So I need to now locate where the paper jam is, or rather I've been told where the paper jam is. Actually, if you look at the screen, it is also showing me that I should open this door. This door, I'm told I should open it. And by the way, these are the trays. These are the input trays where we put our papers into the machine. this is also a tray, another tray, input tray, that is with my papers, and another input tray down here. And then we have also at this area here, we have an input tray here, which we call the bypass. This tray, we call it the bypass. It is a very powerful tray. From this one here, this tray here, you can put heavy papers, like for example 250 or 300 grammage paper. And now one thing I should tell you for, as we begin sorting out the paper jam, always when you have a paper jam, not unless it is at the DF area, right? Start by opening this door, just as it is indicated here, because much of the output is over here, right? It is at this right area where we have the fuser, we have the transfer roller, we have the this other roller here, this other transfer roller here. So it is always good or advisable to start by opening this door and then locate where the paper is. And much of the paper jam in this machine happens at this transfer roller, right, as you can see. And when it happens over here, it is always good when you open the door, then you pull the paper slowly, pole too, don't force it out, right? Because from inside here there are also gears, and if you force the paper out, it will tear down, just like the way this one has just torn down, and you can see this piece here remaining here. And if, for example, it happens to remain from inside the fuser here, this is the fuser area, and you can see we also have a paper jam there, it will give you a lot of problems. At a small paper like this one, or a small paper remaining inside this fuser area here, you will not be able to see it. That is number one. Then number two, removing it from here, it will be very difficult. For one, this thing is always hot, especially when you are using the machine. Very hot, you can't touch it. Actually, I think it goes even up to 200 degrees Celsius with being hot. So touching it, you can get burns very easily. Then another area, very important area, is this. It is this duplex area here, because at the time when I am doing a duplex, or when I am doing a double-sided paper, it has to pass through the duplex. It has to pass through the duplex so that it is turned, so that it rotates, so that you are able to print both sides. Like you can see from this paper here, it is printed both sides. So at sometimes the paper will jam in this duplex, and this duplex, if you look carefully at it, you can see it has small things. This is an actuator for the duplex, and this actuator is very fragile, as in it can break down anytime. So if you force a paper out, you can break this small actuator, and the machine will start giving you what we call error codes. It will start giving you error codes because it cannot be able to initialize, or it will not be able to initialize. So it is always good to be very gentle with the machine as you remove the paper, either whether it has jumped from inside the duplex here, you have to be very gentle to pull it very slowly, or if it is at the fuser area, like you can see we have a paper jamming here at the fuser, it is always good to be very gentle. And as you can see, this paper of mine jumped from right inside the fuser, right? The fuser here. And also, if you look at here, around the exit, we also have the paper, the same paper here, jamming here. As in, it wants to come out, but it can't come out because it has jammed, or rather, there has been some miscommunication so that the paper can't come out, right? So it is always advisable, it is always good. You open this door, then you gently pull out the paper, or you pull from this other side very gently, without forcing it or without being in a hurry. Because if you hurry, you can also destroy this fuser, and it is very it is fragile. For one, it has the pressure roller and it has the transfer roller. So if you force a paper, or if you drop something, if you use to start removing papers which have jumped from inside here, you can give the fuser a scratch, or you tear down the pressure roller or the transfer roller. And at that time the machine will start giving you some error codes, right? It will start displaying some error codes here of 40 fuser or fusing unit, or over 40 duplexer, while because you destroyed the actuator, or over 40, maybe over 40 transfer roller like this one or this other one here, because the machine does what we call a self-test. It has some BIOS, basic input output system software, that does some self-test to make sure that before I start working, every other component is intact and it is working right. So if there is something that is not working right, definitely the machine will tell you, or will start displaying some error messages trying to tell you there is something that is not right and I need it to be right for me to start working. And it is for the same reason. If the machine finds that everything is right, it will boot and even give you some beep codes that indicate that the machine has boot well and you can now start using it. Or else, or rather, where else, when it has an issue, it will fail to boot, it will display error codes or error messages which you must sort out before you continue working. From inside here, we also have the transfer belt. This black one here, it is the transfer belt. Although with the transfer belt, it is very rare for any paper to jam from there, not unless there is a very serious issue. It is very rare to have a paper jam at the transfer belt area. But if there happens to be any paper jam and you remove it without being careful, you can make the transfer belt to have scratches, and then those scratches will give marks to the printouts, which will make your printout to be unreadable or not to be able to be accepted by your customer. So it is always very important to make sure that you understand the pickup units, which have the pickup rollers, which works in conjunction with the paper tray, this paper tray like this one here, because the paper from the paper tray like this ones here, which are ready for printing, once you put the tray inside, the paper, when you send some work for printing, it is picked from this, or by these pickup rollers, or by this pickup unit as it moves out as it moves out of the machine. So you should make sure that your pickup units are very clean. They don't have dust, they don't have worn out rubbers, they are very clean, they don't have dirt, they don't have dust, they are serviced, the screws to them are very well screwed in and fixed, because they are one of the initial stages where the paper will pass through as it gets to these rollers, or as it gets through these rollers to the duplex, to the fuser unit, so that it can be given that heat that is used to produce the image. So it is very important to make sure that those units are okay. And one important thing that I've maybe not shown you that you should always be having when you are operating a machine like this one, it is this one here. We call it an home drive. Home drive, very important in servicing machine, or in making sure that your machine is always okay. And home drive, what it does, this one, I'm just testing it out. It is always good, especially for these rollers here. These rollers for the for the pickup unit. It's always good once it has some dust, you spray them. The rubbers, not the metallic area, not the mechanical area which have the motherboard. Make sure that the home drive does not go to the mechanical areas like the motherboards, or like the logic boards. Make sure that it doesn't go there. So these pickups, it's always good you spray them. The pickup rubbers only, or the pickup areas, and the gears, the few gears of the machines. Make sure that you spray them with home drive like I am doing, so that you make sure that they are free from dust. Make sure also that you make use of a piece of a soft cloth like this one. You can wet it a little bit like this, and then you wipe these rollers for the duplex, these ones for the rollers, for the pickup rollers. you wipe out any dust from them. Make sure that you clean completely of any dirt that you can be able to see. But don't spray inside the fuser, because it has the element or the fusing element that you can destroy if you give it some wet substance. So for these rollers, for a guide like this one, this guide to the exit, make sure that you wipe them completely. You can also use some home dry to make sure that you do away with all the dirt inside there. At the same time, you can rotate the machine, close this area here, rotate the machine, and make sure you also spray the guides which are here, the guides to the doublets and the guides to the exit. Spray them with this home dry. Also wet this cloth of yours, and then again go back and wipe out completely. Wipe the rollers or the gears completely, so that you make sure that there is no dust. Because much of the problems that occur in these machines is basically about dirt. It's most basically about the dust. And so if you make sure that your machine is always clean, your machine is dusted, your machine is kept off from dust, you can be sure that the machine will operate without any problems, so long as you don't give it any other mechanical problem, right? So much of the problems appear or happen because of dust, and that's why it's always also recommended that after some time you do some general servicing of your machine, right? So I've shown you where the pepper jams appear at the exit area as the pepper tries to exit. If it gets late at the fuser area because of some issues, maybe of rubbers which are not working well, or of the fuser unit which is broken or has an issue, or because of pickup errors which have issues, or of pickup rollers or transfer rollers which have issues, maybe with that or of that, right? Or maybe at the duplex area, when it delays at the guides because it has issues, or it gets to the guides area of the fuser. So make sure that these areas are clean, and if there is a pepper, make sure that you remove it gently. You can even rotate these pickups areas, and the roller have this object here, this bar, which you can rotate, so that you gently just remove the pepper instead of just pulling it off. Because if you pull the pepper off without being careful, there are these pans, the figures of the fuser, and if you interfere with the figure by lifting it because of pulling the pepper which has jumped there, and the figure dislocates from its area, then you can be sure every other time you print, you will have a pepper jam at the fuser area that you will have to sort as a must, right? So the other area that I want to focus on is the duplex area. The duplex area of the machine. Make sure that you close your machine well after sorting out. So this is the duplex area, or this is the ADF area, and you can place your papers here if you are photocopying, so that you can just photocopy your papers from there. Or if you are not placing them at the scanner glass, this is the scanner glass here, you can also place them at the ADF area. And especially with the ADF area, this is the ADF, we place them there when you are doing something which is body-sided, or something that that has a lot of paperwork. So you don't have that time of placing one paper after the other. What you need to do is to place all the papers on the ADF, and then you just give a command, and the papers will all be either photocopied by picking from here, or will be scanned by directly picking them from here. Even if it is duplex or one-sided, it will be picked at the duplex area. And now this area here also encounters pepper jam, because this is the pickup. These are the pickup rubbers. Pickup rubbers, of course, over here, and we have the pickup mechanism here, or the ADF mechanism here, including these rubbers here. And if you don't service this area here by spraying with some home dry, by using a brush to to clean off all that inside here, just like we have done over there, and in the trays, by cleaning the trays, so that you are sure that your papers will be clean. So by cleaning here, by wiping completely the rubbers, you wipe them completely, wipe out any dirt, spray to make sure that it's clear, or it is clean from dirt, it is dry, it is well dried, and the rubbers are not worn out, so that you replace them. Then you can be sure that a paper jam will happen here at the DF area. And if it happens here at the DF area, just like this, like for example this paper, if it jumps inside here, it is always advisable that start by opening this door. Don't just pull the paper like this. There are some actuators over here, like for example this is an actuator or a sensor, you know, it is a sensor or an actuator. So if you just force the paper out and maybe it had come to contact with the actuator, you will break the actuator, and then this machine will not be able to work. So it is always advisable you open this door gently. Then when it is open, you will even be able to see where the paper jumped, even if it had gone a little bit inside. Then you pull it gently, and after removing it, you will find that the paper jam is cleared. And like in my case here, you can see I had some paper jams. I removed the papers which had jumped from inside, and I'm now ready to continue with what I was printing out, because I had sent some work. I'm ready to start printing. Actually, I even have some papers here, and now I can still be able to continue with printing. You can hear even the machine has sensed that I have removed the paper jam, and so now I can even be able to start printing if I was not through with doing my printing. And my machine, it has started working. You can even hear the sound of operation. So those are the few areas where we get paper jams. Either when you are scanning from at the scanner glass area, or you are using the ADF, or you are using the bypass tray, or these other trays. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe, leave a comment at the comment area, like the video, and share to other social media networks. You can also do us a favor by putting on the notification bell, so that for any other video which we will upload or which will be premiering in the near future, you will be able to see it when it is uploaded. Otherwise, thank you for being part of this channel, for listening to our tutorials, for watching our tutorials. I hope it will help you a lot, especially in sorting out paper jams, just like we have shown you here on how you can be able to sort out paper jams. Yeah, right? Especially from the pickup area of the machine, or the tray pickup area, or from the fuser area, or from the ADF, the duplexer, or from the ADF area, because those are the four main areas where the paper jams appear or happen: at the tray, at the duplex, at the ADF, and at the fuser, unit, where you have the rollers or transfer rollers which guide the paper either to the fuser or to the exit tray, which is this one here. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you have enjoyed. Welcome.